Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Newsroom. I'm Maddie Paul, and behind me is our scene from Webster on our live cam, which you can access for yourself if you head to KELOLAND.com and search for all our lovely little live cams. But this is Inside the Newsroom. We give you the trending stories of the KELOLAND area, and we bring on our newsroom staff members to talk about those trending stories. It's the same stories that you see every day on our website and over the air for KELOLAND News. And we have to get started right away for today because there's a lot of trending stories to get to. We have the future of the Multicultural Center at stake. We have travelers uncertain about their travel plans due to some delays and cancellations, and then recapping morning shows and seeing how that's been going, especially with weather and wintry weather on the way. So stay with us. We have a packed Inside the Newsroom to get to for you today. Stay with us. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. Right now, the Multicultural Center's future in Sioux Falls is uncertain. After $146,000 in annual funding, 2026 will bring none from the city to the program operated by LSS of South Dakota. Dan Santella reports.
As of today, the next chapter in the Multicultural Center's story has yet to be written.
So is the Multicultural Center going to survive?
You know, it's early in trying to figure out what we're going to do as a next step, what we can sustain.
The Multicultural Center is a program of LSS of South Dakota. This Coliseum in downtown Sioux Falls represents one of its offerings, an affordable location for people to gather. But Rebecca Knutson, president and CEO of LSS of South Dakota, explains that the Multicultural Center's offerings go well beyond this space.
We do some job placement work, we do interpreter services, so it's kind of a smattering of different things. We're a very small team. We don't have a lot of staff doing this work, but we do the best that we can to try to be as welcoming as we can.
Knutson says the city told them that the way nonprofits receive money was changing. LSS of South Dakota did apply for funding, but learned that there would be none.
The explanation that we received was that they were aligning the city's priorities with the organizations that were being funded.
The county operates the Coliseum, and its commission voted to maintain their lease with LSS of South Dakota with regard to the Multicultural Center. But how staff might get paid is much less clear.
The county has expressed a commitment to continue working with us, so from that end, we're okay. But we'll have to figure out the funding for the staffing component, which is what was funded by the city.
And Dan Santella joins us at the digital desk to talk more about this story. And I want to start off with this. Is the Multicultural Center going to survive? Now, this is a question that you posed during your interview, and then you included that in your story. So for you, why did you keep that in? Like, what's the significance of including that question and answer element to stories like these?
I think for one, it brings the reader or viewer into the story, and I think that's kind of the crux of this. You know, we see this funding leave the Multicultural Center, and I think it then prompts that question, is this entity going to be able to continue? I think that's kind of the heart of it all. I wanted to establish that and try to focus on that question because I think that was kind of the focus of the story after a while. And so that's why I included that. It'll happen, maybe you've noticed some of my stories, that I like to include my own questions sometimes because I think it establishes that interview dynamic, and it says, this is what we're looking to figure out, and then this is how interviewee responded.
Right. And I think your headline, and you can disagree with me if you want, is kind of the answer to your question. You said that the future of the Multicultural Center uncertain. Would you agree that's kind of the answer to it then?
Ideally with a story such as this, we have total answers and we know what the future is going to be, but that simply just isn't the case with this story, and they don't know either.
Right.
I think that kind of answers it as well. It's unclear. We don't know.
And KELOLAND News has been following and updating this topic of funding for the Multicultural Center for a few weeks now. So from your story, what is one element that you wanted to make very clear for viewers? Or if this helps, what kind of purpose did you want this story to serve?
That this facility, this program, probably better stated, is something that helps different people in different ways, and something that we've been familiar with it over years, and now we don't know what's going to be coming of it. I did hear back from the city, not in an interview, but within a longer form statement that we mentioned on air, but have included in its entirety on our website. And I think that uncertainty about it was something good to establish. And then to get leadership from LSS of South Dakota, which of course runs the Multicultural Center, to get them on camera, get their thoughts about what's happening now, what could be happening next. That's why we wanted it, because we hadn't heard from them. We had the news release that had come in. I believe we had covered that. Yep. And then Michael Dorn had covered the issue of the Coliseum's lease before, I believe, the Minnehaha County Commission. Yep. We haven't had LSS's leadership on camera, and that was the focus of the story. That was the interview we wanted the most yesterday because that, their entity, their program is front and center. So that was kind of the biggest thing I wanted to get, is their perspective, and for them to share, A, what they do, and B, where they are right now as 2025 becomes 2026.
Looking ahead, what stood out to me in this story was how they said that kind of staffing could be uncertain too with getting that sort of money. So that was an element that stood out to me from this story that I hadn't really thought of before, other than where is this going to be going next? Sure. So what stood out for you the most?
Yeah, that's for me, that they don't, that the 100 and I believe it was 46,000 from the city had taken care of staffing funding, and now that money isn't there. So it's a question mark. So that's what it was paying for, and they don't have that money. So they have to figure out what comes next. And Rebecca Kiso-Knudsen, who's the president and CEO of LSS of South Dakota, she said, they have been getting some support, just people helping out with gifts and such. But it's a story we'll keep following because it merits following, and it's unresolved right now.
Dan, thank you so much for being here at the Digital Desk to give those details. And as Dan said, KELOLAND News had reached out to the city of Sioux Falls for this report, and we did receive a statement from Sean Pritchett, who serves as the finance director within the city. That statement can be found on this story on KELOLAND.com. So go ahead and head to our website, KELOLAND.com, by scanning that QR code that you see on the screen right now to find this story. And still to come on Inside the Newsroom, we're looking at how travelers are seeing delays at the Sioux Falls Regional Airport. Stay with us. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. Winter weather sweeping through parts of the United States is causing delays and even cancellations for travelers at the Sioux Falls Regional Airport, leaving many travelers to come up with new plans. Our digital reporter Michael Dorn heard from travelers about those delays in his recent KELOLAND.com original story. And Michael, you went out to the airport yesterday to see what was going on for travelers. So tell me, what was the atmosphere like when you were at the airport yesterday?
Yeah, it was very busy yesterday there at the Sioux Falls Regional Airport. There was quite a long line for people getting in line, getting their tickets, and also a bunch of people standing around getting information, making a change of plans, trying to get that done so that they can either get a refund or reschedule their tickets or whatever that might be.
So why, in your opinion, was pursuing this story angle so important and newsworthy right now?
Well, I think it's got a lot of impacts here. I mean, we even saw that here in the newsroom where there were some people who had impacts to their flights and they weren't able to get home from Christmas. You know, this is coming right after Christmas, that holiday season here, and people are trying to get home. People are going on planes, whether that be coming or going from Sioux Falls, and they're having struggles here due to this massive sweep of winter weather that we've seen across much of the northern U.S. here. There's a lot of struggles from that. Minneapolis got hit pretty bad, and that was one of the major ones that we saw yesterday, kind of looking at the departures and arrivals list. That was one of the things that stood out was they had a cancellation from Minneapolis. So there's quite a few people standing around there and wondering about their flight and what they will do to get home.
Yeah, it sounds like you had to do a lot of research for this story. Like, I know that you included the National Weather Service and even the U.S. Department of Transportation in your story. So what was that process like for you, going through all those facts? And then how did you narrow down what you wanted to include for your story?
Yeah, I think I wanted to provide a lot of resources for people who might be in Sioux Falls, might have seen that story, and just be, because the U.S. Department of Transportation has a whole handy-dandy list of all these different organizations and companies that offer these flights, and it's what they offer and what you can get from if your flight is canceled or your flight is substantially delayed. So I think that's a very helpful list for people who are in that situation, and there's definitely quite a few of them here. So,
you know, that stood out to me, actually, and I'm glad you brought that up, was that list and that resource that you were able to include from the U.S. DOT, because, again, it was very helpful to see, okay, what is my next step with some sort of delay or cancellation? So why do you think that's so important to include a resource like that in the story, even if it is like a direct link to take you somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that's important just because there are people out there. I met people yesterday here at the Sioux Falls Airport who were in that exact same situation, who were talking with airport staff to try and figure out what their next move is. And it's kind of helpful to have something like that to know what you're kind of entitled to in that situation, whether it be cancellations or delays, what that might be and what that can look like.
And then speaking to those people at the airport, how do you think those interviews and those perspectives helped shape this story?
Yeah, I think that is the story right there. You know, I talked to one man who was taking his family out to Seattle, and they basically had a very long delay, and because of that delay, they weren't going to be able to catch their connecting flight, so they did have to cancel that trip, and it just sounded like a lot of air of frustration there at the airport. Obviously, no one's fault there. Can't control the weather, but It's very much a lot of frustration. A lot of people trying to get home. A lot of people trying to go places. You know, and I also talked to another young lady who was trying to go to Denver, who was in Sioux Falls visiting her family, and she's trying to get home now. So.
And it was a great article, Michael. Thank you for sharing more details here at the Digital Desk. And viewers, if you would like to read Michael's article, you can do so by heading to KELOLAND.com and scanning that QR code you see on your screen to take you to our KELOLAND.com homepage. But stay with us. We're going to have more on Inside the Newsroom when we come back after the break. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. Come on. We had to bring Scott Munt on.
Yeah, well, you know, and then they'll say, okay, no more next year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so we have like 2 more days. No. We're only joking. We're only joking now.
Are we?
Yes, of course. I wanted
Okay.
to do a story time with you, Scott, because I don't think I
Story
told
time?
Yes. Here's my context. So yesterday we did the morning show together with Jordan DeSmit and
Yes.
Brian Carsons, of course.
And then you decided not to show up today. Right?
Well, summer came back. Summer is here.
Okay.
And so, I had other things to do this morning, like sleep and get ready for this. So yesterday we had some technical difficulties, so I couldn't play any clips from the show. But today
Uh-oh.
I was on like our YouShare app looking at what viewers submitted to us.
Okay.
And one thing that was submitted to us was a photo of some eagles.
Oh, yes.
You know where I'm going with this?
Yep.
So this actually came at
It's a great photo.
Yeah, it is great. There's another eagle hiding up top, but I had to make sure it fit the screen here. I'll just there's the other eagle.
Neat.
Yeah. So it's two of them. I'll just do it like that. So this photo came in and was submitted around like 5:15 yesterday morning, Scott.
Okay.
And the timing is very specific because around that time, or just a little bit beforehand, we, meaning Jordan DeSmit, myself, and Brian Carsons, were doing some friendly talking about some other Eagles photos that were sent to us from viewers over YouShare. And this was about the time that you walked into the studio and you were listening to Jordan and I talk about how we've never seen a bald eagle in South Dakota. And so you couldn't just let it go. And you kept
and I
talking
go-
about it all day. Yeah, that's exactly how it went. That's exactly how you kept looking at us throughout the entire time. So I want to play the clip real quick of Jordan and I talking about never seen an eagle. And of course, Brian Carsons has seen like 20. Okay, here's
Well,
the
anyway,
clip.
yeah, just go ahead and play
here's the
it.
clip.
We are getting a look at the national bird in central South Dakota. A viewer sent us these pictures of a bald eagle at Oahe downstream. The raptor was seen perched in a tree and flying through the air.
The bald eagle was officially made the country's national bird last year. If you capture any pictures or
didn't know
videos
that.
of the wildlife in your area, we would like to see them. You could send them to KELOLAND.com/YouShare. I'm jealous. I've never even seen an eagle in South Dakota.
Same thing. I don't think I've ever seen one like in person, just pictures.
I've seen it in Minnesota
Oh,
flying
boy.
around. Brian's like, I
need
got
to take
stories.
you guys-
Yeah. I got to pause real quick. I think that by the time Jordan and I both said that, Scott literally whipped around and went,
You guys live under a rock? You're in
whip.
a hobbit hole or what?
whipped around. And that's why I think Brian was like, oh boy. All right, let's continue.
A couple places around Sioux Falls, I can take you there.
Sioux Falls, you've seen
Oh,
eagles?
absolutely.
What?
Saw two bald eagles Christmas Eve coming back from Brandon over by Husitz.
I don't believe
One
it. Look at
was
my
on
face.
the north side of the road, and then we crossed the
even
bridge
facing him.
and saw another
Yeah.
one. So there was two there.
Well, your
and then we
body's
had one
not
at our
really
house, not about a quarter mile away, just last week.
It's a Christmas miracle. You had one at your house?
They're all well. They're not in my yard. but
Yeah, I was gonna-
By the time I said that, I think I saw you laugh at that too. I was
yeah,
like,
like
I
he
got
keeps
him.
them as a pet.
Keeps them as a pet.
They can stay a little bit of ways away from the house, but they are amazing.
Oh, they're
birds.
beautiful.
We love your pictures too. So
Yes, send
in.
them over YouShare. KELOLAND.com/YouShare. I will always plug it. But I'm sure the birds are staying away right now with the weather.
I would imagine the eagles are finding some cover, just a little bit.
Yeah, that was a clip. But I just remember Scott, you looking at us like, what?
Oh yeah, they're flying, hovering around the river all the time. I shouldn't say all the time, but yeah, I've seen them many times. We'll go golfing as a family out to Brandon, and every now and there was one time we just saw them kept going up and down the river. It's pretty cool.
Wow. I think off camera,
Mm-hmm.
Brian also told us that Yankton was a good place to see them too. And so maybe that's why this photo was sent in to us from Yankton.
You know, you need to stop just having your head down as you're walking around Sioux Falls. I mean, look up. You might see one.
Look up at the sky.
Yeah, right.
I'm just touching grass. That's why. Helping myself out and exploring nature a little. And Jordan and I were joking, and we were saying like, "Oh, today's the day that him and I are going to see a bird now. Not any
A bird?
but not
Like
any
any
bird.
bird?
I guess I should clarify. A bald eagle. Like today would be the day. I wasn't outside yesterday though. Yesterday was too cold. That's what we were saying in the show. No bald eagles probably out yesterday. Well, maybe that photo was coming in. I don't know.
Do you have any other clips from yesterday?
No, that was the only one
was
that
the
I was
only
ready
one?
for.
I thought something else happened too.
We mentioned Sunshine and Sparkles yesterday. I
Yeah,
think that would have been a good clip.
That's about every day though.
It is about every day that we talk
and
about
I
Sunshine
said, yeah,
and
we'll have
Sparkles.
sunshine today, and it'll sparkle off the new snow. So
You made me
that
laugh during the
wasn't,
morning show yesterday too. I think it was the start. Do you usually start off the 6 o'clock show?
Yeah, and at the triple stack. Remember
Yes.
which one the triple
Yeah.
stack is?
You start the 6.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so I think it was at the start of the 6th then. And you were, how do you usually say it? You're like, good morning, KELOLAND. And you were doing like your little spiel.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it kind of dropped. You went, it's cold. And like that was it. But for some
And I
reason.
did a mic drop. Is that what you're saying?
It
Walked
was like
off.
the tone drop.
I'm
like,
out of here.
You were so excited, like, good morning, KELOLAND.
Right, it's that energy that we talked about the other
And then you're
day.
like, it's cold. And like, it just dropped. Yeah, that energy part.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Your energy didn't drop. It's just like the tone was just so funny to me. I don't know. Just like so straight to the fact. It's cold.
It's cold. It was.
It was freezing.
For some, it may still be cold, but we are looking at a warmer day today.
Oh, really? Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, yeah. In fact,
already
by
forgetting.
6 o'clock, we were already warmer than our high temperature yesterday. 6 o'clock this morning. Yep.
Then our high temperature yesterday?
Yesterday, we hit 16. Yeah, I'm sure you were really looking in the sky for birds yesterday.
Yeah, no, I was staying indoors. I made sure my blanket was over my head. So I was trying to sleep,
Oh, man.
get my rest in.
So, when will you make those cheesecakes?
Actually, I'm making them tonight.
Tonight you are?
Yeah, tonight I'm making the cheesecakes. Just the cheesecakes. I'm not decorating them tonight.
So no Santas.
No Santas tonight. But now I want like maybe a New Year's Eve theme. Like I want some gold on
Baby
there.
New Year.
Baby New Year?
Yeah, face of a baby. Baby New Year. I don't know why I did this to my face.
Yeah,
It's
it's
nowhere
your
close.
face. Are you the baby? I should just. Oh, have you seen those? You can like what is it called? You can print out like an edible screen thing, like a sheet to
Yeah,
eat. Like
I've
some
seen
bakers do
those.
that.
Yep, I've seen those.
The printout art that you can eat. I'll do that, and I'll print
Can
out
you
your
do that
face.
at your house?
I can't do it at my house, but I could find a way if I can get your face on one of these cheesecakes. That would be insane. That would be the Christmas miracle.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, it's not Christmas though. New Year miracle. Have you heard of ins and outs of the New Year?
What's in and what's out?
Yeah, like for yourself. It's like a sheet that you make about what's in for you and what's out for you in the new
Who
year.
was the comedian that did that?
There's a comedian that did that?
Oh, yeah.
Should I look it up? No.
You know what it is. It's from the old
comedian.
Saturday Night Live skit with, David Spade did it.
Oh, David Spade did?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a long time
That's a
ago.
long, yeah, that was back
Jeez.
probably early 90s.
Jeez, Scott, we got to wrap this up. I got to go. We're out of time.
What?
We're out of time.
Is summer up next?
I wish. She's giving me
She
a
just
sad
sat down.
face.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, because she's finally back. She said she's finally back. All right, everyone. That's all the time that we have for Inside the Newsroom
All right,
today.
get working on those cheesecakes.
I know. I'll get photos this time. Okay, I'll get proof. Just the cheesecake part, though. Hopefully, they won't be cracked because I'm not gonna take a photo if they're cracked.
That's what cheesecake does.
No, some people make them really nice and bubbly and perfect.
Okay. All right, that's what I expect then.
Okay, that's the only photos you're gonna get. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time,
Okay.
have a great day. The wave.